Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm very glad to be here today. My name is Janine, or Coach Janine, for many of you guys, and I am with the wonderful Coach Don, who really had the opportunity again to give us to be able to bring her back because we just had a very wonderful conference that we had. Actually from last Tuesday until yesterday, Sunday. It was wonderful. We had many speakers who came and really gave us a very good nugget about what it takes to be an authentic leader. And many of them have shared their journey, the experience, what they've been doing. So thank you for being with us, all of you guys, through YouTube or Facebook. We really appreciate because it was really an empowerment moment. Right, Coach Dan?
It was very much so.
Awesome. Yeah. So again, I'm so glad that many of you guys really were able to join us. We saw all your comments. We really appreciate. Just stay tuned because we're going to send all the Zoom links so you guys can be able to see. Many of you guys, for some reason, the first few days you couldn't really get in, but that's okay. Don't worry. We're going to share all the links so everybody can be able to get a chance to listen to each one of the speakers. So this morning, I'm very glad to have Coach Dawn back again with us because she's been sharing her journey, but for some reason, Zoom did not allow us to share that with many of you guys. So I really asked her to come back again so she can be able to share her personal journey with us and to answer to to a couple of questions. And you guys can be able to get to know her and also for our French community. I'm just going to say very briefly about Coach Dawn. Merci beaucoup de se connecter ce matin. Moi, c'est Coach Janine et je suis avec Coach Dawn. Je suis vraiment dans la joie parce qu'on a passé des bons moments depuis la semaine passée, depuis mardi après-midi jusqu'à hier soir. On avait la conférence des femmes. Comment est-ce que nous pouvons encourager les femmes dans le leadership? Beaucoup d'entre eux, ils ont partagé leur parcours avec nous. So, nous sommes vraiment dans la joie. Et ce matin encore, j'ai Coach Dawn avec moi. C'est une femme qui enseigne, qui est une formatrice. Elle est toujours en train de former les femmes, surtout dans le domaine de leadership. Donc, merci beaucoup de se joindre à nous. Et ça sera juste pour quelques minutes. Je vais lui poser quelques questions, comme ça, elle pourra aussi nous présenter aussi d'autres éléments. Il y a beaucoup d'entre vous qui ont demandé le link pour le Zoom. Donc, nous allons encore rediffuser ça et partager avec vous. Comme ça, vous aurez aussi l'occasion de voir les autres panélistes, comme vous n'avez pas eu le temps. Mais on va partager tout le monde, que ce soit sur Facebook ou que ce soit sur YouTube. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Coach Don, for again to come back again on this platform.
Mhm.
We are going to start our great conversation about leadership and your personal journey because many of us we start the journey and you comes across so many situations and your mindset it's everything. So and that was really something that I saw through your presentation. I said that's something that I would like everybody to be able to listen and to be able to learn from. Thank you so much, Coach Dan. For our first question, can you tell us who is Coach Dan?
Wow, thank you so much for this opportunity. And Coach Don is quite simply someone who has evolved over time as a leader. I am
Mm-hmm.
someone who didn't start out in leadership roles, but actually was drafted and pushed and
Mm-hmm.
encouraged and actually stepped out into roles in leadership. So I'm a culmination of my experiences of being both an advocate, a servant leader, and really just an everyday person. So no
Mm-hmm.
different than any others.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us that. And so, Coach Dan, who inspired you when you were growing up and who inspire you now?
Yep, definitely. One of my biggest inspirations has been my grandmother. She's been very pivotal in helping to shape the vision of what I've been able to do, telling stories and weaving things. She's a quilter, and so she was very inspirational. My mother also a seamstress and working to ignite my awareness through her role as an educator. She
Mhm.
actually raised three children while going to school and doing all of these things. So my mother, very inspirational, as well as my father, being very, I would say strict, but making sure that I was doing things to the best of my ability. So these are three examples of people in my personal life. I do admire Barbara Jordan, who is a wonderful former congresswoman in Texas who was just so inspirational in her ability to speak and to
Mhm.
articulate ideas and to really be a formidable leader. So just a few.
Oh, awesome, awesome. That's good. And what are some of the most important tools and value that a leader must have?
Well, absolutely. The first thing is for a leader to have personal integrity. That is to be able to
Mhm.
have that honesty within and to be able to be true to yourself about what it takes for you to be in that leadership role, but also being able to properly balance what works for your personal, professional life, as well as maintaining a set of tools. I talk about this in my 7 step leadership principles. It's not just about having a big picture plan, but having a vision.
Mhm.
And so it's about having a long term strategy on the tail end, about having a legacy. And again, I go back to my grandmother who quilted and was sewing and doing things in her community. And that was a legacy, leaving behind something in your leadership role. So it's not just about being in the leadership role to lead, it's about how will you help others along.
Awesome. That's very important. And talking about the mindset, because I know many of us, like as you know, it every day it's not the same, and
Mm-hmm.
your journey really changed. So you need to know how to be able to adjust quickly. But can you talk us more about your mindset, especially when you first started?
Mm. Wow, my mindset. Let me tell you, I think because I had sharp leaders in my community and my family, the
Yeah.
expectation was very high. And it was that I had to always figure a way to really, I say, toe the line. And that meant not only was it a personal message, but also that I had to live up to my family name to maintain my integrity, but also that whatever I did, I had to do the best of my ability. So it wasn't something that I said I knew that I could do things halfway. I always had to make sure that they were done to exceptional, above average. And so I submit to anyone who's in a leadership position, it's about pushing yourself beyond what you think you can do. Actually, you're
Mhm.
capable of more than you think.
Oh yeah, I love that. You are capable the more than you think. That's for sure. Thank you so much, guys, for watching us. Merci beaucoup de nous avoir connectés. En tout cas, on aura encore Coach dans quelques semaines. Elle va encore se rejoindre à nous pour nous donner, pour nous former encore dans le leadership. Donc, guys, stay tuned because Coach Dawn, she will be back probably. You know, we're gonna plan some things for her to come back so she can give us more tools really in a leadership role. So now she's going to share with us her slides and we can be able to learn and to be empowered by her. Thank you guys. Yeah, so Coach Don, you can be able to
Yes.
share that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully this
Sure.
will all pan here. I'm thinking you can see my screen here.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you
Mhm.
again for the opportunity to share not only about leadership and the importance that it is to those of us who are in leadership roles, but my evolution as a leader is not one that was linear at all. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to share a quick snapshot about my journey and how I came to be in existence as a leader, not only in my personal life, but in my professional roles. I was raised in Silicon Valley, which is San Jose, just south of San Francisco. And it was actually quiet, sleepy orchard town when I lived there in the 1970s and 80s. It was not the bustling Silicon Valley, as it was named affectionately for the dot coms and other types of computer and tech. It was very much a nature based world. It was obviously
Mhm.
San Francisco, an hour away from where I lived. So my family, we partook in community activities and endeavors to help serve in the community and also to partake in the arts and being very engaged. So I liken my parents to being a very significant influence on my awareness about the world around me. I took a journey to Washington, D.C., flew cross country to pursue a degree at Howard University My focus was to actually become a doctor because I wanted to help people. I studied psychology and found that medicine was not for me, but I did find that I loved to help people. And so that's actually where I took my stint of being a volunteer. And I asked my local congressman, Norman Mineta, who is the first Japanese American serving in Congress, if I could work for him. He told me he had free work, an internship. And I said, you know what? Let me step into this role and again, maintain some level of integrity, but also bring a new way of being able to be an intern. I think that everyone should have an opportunity to do something, working for free, volunteering, doing some service learning in college environments, because it's a great way to get your experience. Why? In this instance, actually, after a few years of interning, Norm hired me on as full time staff when I finished college. So it was one of my first great jobs learning about government and policy. And it actually led to my latter years of being an executive director and leading in various capacities as a policy advocate. I sharpened my skills by going to school at night at Georgetown. And that was a really tough road only because most of the students actually were going to school by day. I was going to school at night after going to work all day. So working on the hill and then cutting across town to go to school, it was a great opportunity for me to learn. And I say that because we juggle so many things in our lives as leaders. We have to continually think about how we can sharpen our toolkit, and that's what I got by going to graduate school, but also the life lessons I had as being a working student. Years later, fast forward after working in the nonprofit industry for a better part of 2 decades, I actually turned into, by default, an accident, an opportunity, a rare disease advocate. My son, who's 10 years old, actually has a number of rare diseases. He has autism. He has a rare gastrointestinal disease where he has an allergy basically to food and in his eosinophilic, his esophagus tract. And then also because his sensory issues required him to have special support in the school system. And so I took to being not only a leader in my community, but also now a leader in the rare disease community. I went out and got myself some additional certification and training with an advocacy program called Virginia Partners in Policymaking. And through that, I was able to sharpen my skills as an advocate to become an advocate for rare disease families. I was a voice for families going through severe food allergies, families who had children who had been hospitalized, and more importantly, really learning how to become a voice for those who needed. Really, in all the leadership skills that I had learned, the advocacy skills that I had learned were put into action in my personal life and actually propelled me professionally. I do say my son and I traveled through either resources, grants, or awards that I was given for us to be able to showcase not only how we work together to help to manage his disease, but also being a resource. And so I'm thankful that he is a mainstream student today in the fourth grade, but it was because of those skills I had learned early in my career as an advocate and in policymaking that led to that. Various positions I mentioned, being a leader in the nonprofit world, weren't just by accident. They were through some of the connections I made working on Capitol Hill. There were opportunities that I had to serve on boards, and actually where I currently serve on several boards. That's an opportunity that I would have had if I didn't step into leadership roles. Looking at how my skills and talents, my communication, and articulating ideas was put into practice. And so it's really a wonderful way that I encourage leaders always to think about what are some talents and skills and abilities you have that could be useful in your community, but also in a leadership role, like I've been in nonprofit leadership roles or in board service. And really, the great kind of misfortune for many might be an opportunity for others, where my son's rare disease was certainly tragic. I didn't think that he would have incurable conditions, but learning to manage the conditions, then leading to be able to talk about how to manage, really became an opportunity for me to look at how I could help. But then people gave me awards for being able to talk freely and share. So think about things that you've had that are challenging that might actually be a success opportunity and some way for you to lead and support others. My other part of my journey is that I have been a writer forever. I didn't know I was writing. I was just blogging or journaling. And actually, that turned into books and webinars and series and online resources and tools. And so, authoring and writing books has been something that I have taken to in recent years. Obviously, blogging, podcasting are really hot button issues. So it's being able to articulate your ideas and put them onto paper. And so I did that and went on tour to various cities and talked about personal development, but also communication skills and leadership skills that are so needed. And so I encourage those who are thinking about stepping into a leadership role, think about, where are your communication skills? Maybe behind the microphone in podcasting, maybe behind the pen as an author. You might even be someone who can help support other leaders like I've been able to do, because you never know where your talents and skills rest. I
Right.
slightly mentioned podcasting because I fell into that in 2017. It was early in the podcasting years, and I just started talking. I've always been to have a bit of the gift of gab. And so be able to share with people, talking and articulating ideas, where I focus on two core areas: leadership development and communication skills for women leaders, and
Mhm.
specifically for those who are trying to think about how can they become better at what they do? How can they communicate more effectively? And so this turned into a series of podcasts, and I share my website where I have a number of things I posted already, but I'm looking to actually broaden that, where I've been a radio show guest and a guest podcaster, and to really start hosting more people in my forum to talk about what they do.
Mhm.
Speaking and sharing has been a wonderful way to be an event, not only guest speaker, keynote, but also an MC. Some things you may know about me: I'll share my Instagram page. I'm a bit of a humorous person. I like to laugh a lot.
Yes, you are.
So I've been an MC at various events. And not only that, but bringing humor helps people to really feel more at ease. And I say not self deprecating humor, no, not making fun of yourself, but just being completely authentic about your experiences. And also, like when I've been an MC, saying, wow, the microphone isn't working, or wow, the technology isn't what we expect, but working around that to help people feel at ease and making sure that we can all work through experiences together. I'm fascinated by the times that we're in with virtual learning and tools. And there's some great ways for people to learn how to step onto that virtual platform. And I'm taking those skills and sort of compartmentalize them now, because we all have to think smarter and faster about how we
Mhm.
can leverage that. And so I'm thankful that I've been a speaker for a better part of 2 decades, but being able to share experiences in a different way.
Mhm.
As a public servant, I have been able to thankfully serve as both an elected and appointed person. Elected to the Sacramento School Board in 2002. I was glad to be able to serve young people. I wanted to bring about more equity in education with an emphasis on library. Well, I love books. One thing I love to do is read. And so to really encourage more literacy. And so I ran for that position and actually resigned from the position in 2006 at the end of my term, because I actually felt like I could do more helping to train more women leaders, not only to be leadership roles, but also to be elected women. And so I actually helped a woman get elected to my seat as I left. And thankfully, she was able to serve after me, but also to be a resource in our community. I'm thankful that I was also recently appointed in 2017 to serve on a special needs board. While my son was not born with birth related defects, a lot of families don't know how to manage some of that, how to manage the system, how to understand special needs, and really how to advocate. And so, as an appointee, I'm able to help be a voice for families that have need for special needs resources, information, hospitalization, and being able
Mhm.
to do that. So, I'm thankful that I was reappointed by our Virginia governor in the last year to continue to serve another 4-year term. And finally, I have been a live streamer in more recent years. One of the things I always encourage leaders to do is to step out into the unknown and to do something that does not feel comfortable. It was not always natural to me to be able to talk to a screen and talk to people, because it's not natural. We're used to being in front of live audiences. But
Mhm.
live stream technology has really taken off, and I want to encourage every leader to get involved and take hold. I started hosting a leadership reflection show just to share my leadership tips and insight. and also to be able to enter video marketing contests, because that's really where the action is: video marketing messages, winning contests there, and also to share and deliver messages, either content or tools or strategies. As I mentioned on my Instagram page, where I'll give you the link, and hopefully you can follow me there, but follow some of your favorite people in the leadership industry. Follow what they're doing.
Yes.
Doesn't take a
Mm-hmm.
lot of real good energy, but it's certainly a great way to learn. And let me tell you, to get over those personal jitters like I had to put myself out there, imperfections and all. And finally, just that I am continuing to evolve as a leader. I continue to find new ways to express myself, to be a resource to others, and really to be creative. Certainly follow me across social at Dawn McCoy Books. That's on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on YouTube and LinkedIn, and then also my website at flourishleadership.com. And I look forward to talking with you and engaging on how we can help develop more effective leadership for women today. Thanks so much for tuning.
Wow, thank you, Coach Dar. Guys, I told you she's definitely a powerhouse for sure because she gave us in a very few minutes definitely all the tools. So definitely, I promise you guys, she's gonna be back. She's gonna be our regular because she's part of the the community, the coalition of all those women around me, and I am glad because she's all about serving. As you can see, she had a different roles. She had to be able to serve and to be able to train. So I am so excited that she continued to do this, and together we can be able to expand and really, bringing her into more platforms so she can be able to share and to be able to train you. So, you have any question for Coach Dawn? Please don't hesitate. She gave all her information, and I'm going. When are we gonna release the video? She can be able to be reached at. All her links will be also below that. I will put that her Instagram and social media, so please be in touch with Coach Dawn because she's definitely the right person to train you, to show how to do it because she's been through all that journey and she's willing to be able to do that. So thank you so much, Coach Town. It was a pleasure and we really thank you. Merci beaucoup de nous avoir connectés, ce matin. Je ne sais pas, les après-midi en Afrique déjà. Avec Coach Town aujourd'hui, elle nous a donné beaucoup d'éléments encore. Comment est-ce que tu pourrais encore parler et être là pour beaucoup de femmes ou bien beaucoup de personnes qui t'entourent? Comment est-ce que tu pourras les aider? Comment est-ce que tu pourras leur former et les encourager? Donc, merci beaucoup de connecter encore ce matin ici et restez tuned. On pourra encore partager ce lien et vous pouvez suivre aussi Coach Don sur ses social media. Je vais mettre son Facebook, son YouTube et Instagram. Comme ça, vous pourrez encore suivre Coach Don à tout moment et posez-lui les questions parce qu'elle est là pour servir et c'est vraiment ça le leadership. So, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, Coach Don. It was a pleasure. And this is only the first time, but not the last time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know if you have any
Thank you.
questions. And certainly, I'm excited to be
Yes.
here. Thank you for having me.
We will definitely have you back again and for more. Like we said, we had a very great time, all last week with all those great women from the conference, and we're going to have more again. So stay tuned. Thank you, Coach Dan. It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.